So we continue to hear that the New Orleans Pelicans want to upgrade their center position and that they're open to, like, they want to keep Brandon Ingram, but for a price, and supposedly Brandon Ingram doesn't want that price, and that they're open to trading Brandon Ingram or keeping him on the roster, and that they are still looking to upgrade the center position, even though they have brought in, Daniel Tice, and they have Yves Messi and Jeremiah Robinson Earl. They're looking at, we're hearing Wendell Carter Jr. That's someone that we've heard all offseason, and even before the offseason that they had interest in. And then the other one, of course, the guy that I feel like forever now they've been tied to, but that is big boy Jarrett Allen. So the deal we know for Jarrett Allen is, if they were to trade for a guy like Jarrett Allen, it obviously is Brandon Ingram, and my assumption is you'd have to think that either you match the salary, because the whole thing is that if you're trading Brandon Ingram, I think Brandon Ingram makes almost $16 million more than Jarrett Allen. So they basically would have to add Dean Wade and George Niang with Jarrett Allen to match that. And plus, I think Brandon Ingram is not as valuable as Jarrett Allen. So I think you wouldn't trade for Jarrett Allen just because of how much it's going to cost you. So then you pivot to Wendell Carter. They just paid Goga Bitsadeh. You're not going to be paying two guys. And I think Wendell Carter, he's a guy who, we've talked about it before, health concerns is something that has been, he isn't the most durable guy, but he is somebody that when he goes out there, he's almost a walking double-double with some three-point range. And that's what I like about Wendell Carter. He's a little bit of an old school game, but he does have he's a really good contract. He's 25. As I mentioned earlier, last few seasons, he really hasn't played more than 62 games in his entire career. And 315 games in, 6 seasons, I'd say. He played 3 there. Yeah, 6 seasons. So what is that? 315 divided by 6. It's not good. 52 games a season he averages. It's not ideal, but he's on a very, very cheap deal. So if we were just looking at the New Orleans Pelicans roster, we'd assume that they would try to just do maybe one. Like, I don't even know what assets they would give up, but you look at their roster. If they traded for Wendell Carter, which is more realistic than Jarrett Allen, you'd assume that Brandon Ingram is being traded to another team, and then they would send assets from that team to get Wendell Carter from the Magic. Now, what team could that be? That's where it becomes very, very difficult, in my opinion, to pinpoint who can go out and get. We know we heard that the 76ers and the Kings had interest, but they both made moves that would tell us otherwise. And now when we look at teams with cap space, that's another thing. Teams have kind of spent their cap space. And the teams that do have cap space aren't really teams that are trying to win right now. So with that being said, Utah, Detroit, San Antonio, and Orlando are technically all teams that could go out and spend money. So you're thinking, would Orlando really be a team that maybe looks here and be like, okay, guess what? We'll take Brandon Ingram because we're cool with the 1-year rental just to move off of this money. Maybe they give us some assets and we're cool. Like, we have no allegiance to Brandon Ingram, but we like the idea of him being a third fiddle, and if it works out, we'll give him an extension. And maybe they send you Wendell Carter and Cole Anthony, or Wendell Carter and I really don't know who else we package. Maybe it's just Wendell Carter and we just stomach the money because it's just a 1-year deal. That really could be something. Or you could look at a team like Utah and maybe they try to get off of like John Collins. Now, how does John Collins help out the Pelicans? I don't necessarily know, but he is technically a big man. He's more of a power forward than a center, but he kind of does fit next to Zion Williamson. You could say Brandon Ingram for John Collins and Walker Kessler, and you send Brandon Ingrams with like second round picks. That's not terrible. That way they can move forward with, I don't even know what Utah's doing there, but that's an idea.